Please sit down. So, you can start.
Yes, please.
So, this is my first time in catering. I never heard about this place before. Last year, Bob called me in London and said that we have a group here and we want you to come here. I said, why not? Because I just go everywhere. In this trip, I'm visiting 30 places in 3 months, all over Europe. So I'm very happy to see you all, and I'm happy that you could spend this evening here with us. I'm asked to talk about meditation. I don't know how familiar you are with the meditation techniques and meditation, about meditation. Generally, I think it's also important to understand why do we meditate, and what is the meditation all about. Generally speaking, from Buddhist point of view, the basic idea is that to look in our heart and see what is the most important thing for me. What is it that I really wish? And most of the time, we find that one of the most important things is that I do not want to suffer. I do not want to have pain, problems, and difficulties. And I want to be well, happy, joyful, and that also not just for now, but in a long-term way, a lasting peace, lasting happiness. That's what I want. Sometimes people do not necessarily articulate like that, but when we look deeply, that's what we want. And actually, everybody is also trying their best to get there. When we look at the situation where we are so busy, everybody is always busy. Why are we so busy? We're trying to solve our problems, make things better, that we have more happiness, more joy, more well-being, and free ourselves from problems, suffering, and difficulties. And then it's not also that I want only myself to be free from unhappiness and suffering. I have lots of people whom I love, who love me, who have been very kind and helpful to me, that I have to be grateful to them, that I have to care for them, and I also wish the same thing to them. And in fact, I do not like to see anybody in great pain. So it is kind of natural that most people want to be free from suffering and have happiness, not only to yourself, but others as well. And if you look deeply, that seems to be the most important thing for us. And if that is the case, then is there a possibility to bring that, to make that happen in this world, in our lives? Now the problem is that the world has lots of problems. The people have lots of problems. The society has lots of problems. The conflicts, all sorts of problems that are man-made, all sorts of problems that circumstances make. So, is it possible to end or make all things disappear? It's very difficult. We can, of course, do lots of things that can change things for better. If we want to, if we all make an effort, we can make lots of changes. And that's very necessary. It's very important that people try to make things better. The world, the environment, the society, in ourselves, our friends, and, families, to bring more harmony, more kindness, more compassion, and also more progress. All these things very necessary and very, very important. But we cannot control everything. It is not that I will be able to control everything that's going on in the world. I will be able to control everything that's going on in this country, in this district, this town, or what everybody does. If somebody does something really negative, it's not possible most of the time that I can change that. So in that case, is it that I cannot actually do nothing? I have to, because people are doing negative things, people are hurting each other, people are creating conflicts, people are, all different kind of problems are happening in this world. So I should be sad about it, I should be unhappy about it, I should be, hurt of that, I should be angry about that. And so therefore, I have to suffer all the time. Is this the case, that there is nothing I can do? The things change, I cannot stop things changing. All the things that can happen, people get sick, people get old, people die. So, is there nothing we can do that we will actually have freedom from suffering and have happiness? Is that the case? Now here is one possible solution, and that is, isn't it possible that we can change our way of reacting to what happens to us? If we cannot change what happens, can I change my way of reacting to it, way I experience that, so that even if I go through the same experience or same happenings, that I can experience it in a different way, without without problem, with more peace, with more joy, with more happiness. Now this is the understanding from, I think, spiritual point of view, from all the spiritual traditions, and also from Buddhist point of view, that there is a possibility that if I work on myself, my way of looking at things, my way of reacting to things, if I know how to deal with my emotions, and if I can go deeper and work on my habits and habitual tendencies, then there may be a possibility to bring a kind of another way of experiencing myself. Now this is the understanding. This is where all the different kind of spiritual practices contemplative practices kind of target on how I experience, on my emotion. How do I manage my emotion? How do I kind of transform my way of reaction? How do I experience things? Because it's my experience, it's how I experience things, because happiness and unhappiness is an experience. So therefore, if I can change my way of reacting and my way of experiencing things, then that's how I can bring the kind of peace, happiness, joy in myself. Because that is something that I can do within myself. It does not depend on other things, outside things, other circumstances. Therefore, if there is any possibility that I can bring lasting peace and happiness, it's only by working on myself from within me. So therefore, this is the general understanding. But to work on that, it's not only meditation. It has to start with a way of looking at things, a way of seeing things. Because how I see things very much changes how I react to things. So therefore, to reflect on how I actually see things and how I, how my mind, where my mind focuses and how my mind kind of looks at things, very important. If I just give an example, we usually have a very strong tendency to, focus all our mind on the problems. Like if I have a problem, it could be a small problem. Say my watch doesn't work. Then I say, oh, my watch doesn't work. What to do? My watch doesn't work. My watch doesn't work. I have to repair my watch. I have to get something to do with my watch. So I feel as if, I cannot be happy unless I can make my watch work. Our mind is so kind of so grasping at the problem, so occupied by the problem. And then, of course, I go around and I do things and I make my watch work. But as soon as my watch works, my computer stops working. And then I say, oh, my computer doesn't, it's much worse. What can I do? I cannot do any email. And then I get much more nervous and much more, kind of tension. And then I try all my best and my computer works, but then something else doesn't work. Maybe two problems come at a time. So if I live like that, that if I have a problem or two problems, then I have to be totally, unhappy, totally kind of disturbed, dissatisfied, kind of, totally focused on those problems. And that goes on all my life, because we think that when all my problems are solved, then I will live happily ever after. But when would that be? We sometimes think, after I finish my studies, yes, then. But after I finish studies, then I have to get a job. After I get a job, yes, then I have to get married. After I get married, then yes. Lots of children. After I get my children, grow up, then I will be very happy. They grow up, then after I retire, yes. Sometimes after retiring, it's more busy than before. So it's so this way, if our mind is like that, then it's not possible. And when all this tension building up, makes our so habituated to this way that we cannot even relax when we have time to relax. You're all tense, kind of stressed, tired. Then on top of that, all the emotions, the history, or everything that happened in our life. Lots of good things happened in our life. But some bad things also happened in our life. And then we most of the time forget all those good things because they happen. They are okay, they have to happen. They're nice things, why not? But one or two bad things happen, that becomes the focus of our attention. It happened to me, this and that happened to me. And I can sometimes suffering all my life because one or two bad things happen. So if I do like that, then I not only cannot have freedom from suffering and have a kind of lasting peace and happiness, but I build up so much attention, so much negativity, so much, it's not possible to even, relax. So therefore, it's necessary to change that way of being. It's necessary to try to do something so that this way of reacting should not be our way of reacting. Why can't we concentrate on good things also, on positive things also? We need to. When we have a problem, we should try to solve this problem also, of course. But at the same time, lots of good things happening also in our life. At least I'm not sick, maybe I'm healthy. Many other things happen. So when I'm healthy, I have to really be happy. I'm healthy now, I'm not sick, it's so nice. But I take it for granted. Of course I'm healthy, but why not? Only when I get sick, then I know how nice it was to be healthy. So it's a little bit like I've wasted those time when I was healthy and did not enjoy it. So therefore, this way of spending our life is not, is not nice, it's not useful, is not good for me and good for others. So I need to change it. I need to find a way to train myself that I don't do in this way. But it is not easy. It needs training, it needs effort, it needs kind of working on ourselves. It needs know-how. It needs kind of practice. And that's what, the practice of meditation, practice of, all these things to do with spiritual practices are about how do I transform myself. So that, a kind of, even if I cannot change things outside, I can at least, bring some peace within me. I can find a way to work with my emotions in such a way that it's not disturbed. My mind is not constantly disturbed with anger, with feeling of hurt, with upset, with fear, with worry, with greed, with envy, with all this kind of, emotions, which brings me lots of pain, lots of, kind of hardship, and also creates actions by me which, creates problem and pain for others as well. So therefore, it's to see that there is need and it's important that we should work on this. We should change in our way of being and reacting, so that not only that I have a peace of mind and more joy, more more kindness in myself, for myself and others as well, but also that I become more easy for others to live with, and also that I don't create so much problem and so much harm to others as well. So therefore, the first thing to do is to see what are the things that that brings disturbance to my mind, that brings unhappiness, dissatisfaction, pain, hurt to myself. We usually think that if somebody does something to harm me, if somebody says something that's not nice to me, then that hurts me. That makes me unhappy. There's some truth. Yes, if somebody does something to make me